Well, look, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming down, because it was a couple of months ago, I think, that we first spoke, where I was seeing that you wanted to have the opportunity.
Actually, I reached out and I wanted to. I didn't know anyone that was doing the podcast and things like that. So
no, definitely. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, as we've been speaking about just now, I wasn't there from the start, obviously, but. I'm a big lover of the history of grime and finding out about all of that. And
you've got to be, if you're in the scene, you've got to know where it comes from and who was there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course. And obviously you've been around from since before grime. You know, when would you say you started DJing?
I started DJing in probably. I was an MC before I become a DJ.
Okay.
So when we was kids at school, we used to do like school discos and things like that, and we had a DJ that used to was mixing on his sound labs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Belt drives. So we was MCs, like me, Dogsy and Sire. We was MCs. So I started probably mixing in '97. I used to go around my mates' house over lunchtime and spin, like, do you know what I mean, the old garage and that. And it was hard. It was hard on belt drives anyway. And then when I got my Technics 1210s, it was like a dream come true. Do you know what I mean? So basically since '97, that was when I started.
All right then. And then obviously, I mean, there's a lot of debate as in when grime actually started, in the sense of, for you, from your perspective, when would you say grime? Well,
I would say 2000. I would say 2000.
What would you say was the first grime tune, in your opinion?
God, that's an hard one.
Yeah, I know it is, isn't it? Because
everyone will say,
debate.
Everyone will tell you different. Yeah. Everyone will say different to what I'm going to say. I don't really know.
I mean, what was the first tune then that you heard and you were thinking, nah, this is very different to the other stuff?
Stone Cold. I don't know if you know Stone Cold. It was on Groove Chronicles. It was Stone Cold. Yeah, that's as far as I can remember it was what it was called. It was around the same sort of time as like Obson's Choice and M-Dub's tunes. M-Dubs was making some dark tunes back then. Do you know what I'm saying? Then you had LB. LB was making some dark tunes, and then you had Stanton Warriors. So I could name 1,000.
Yeah,
people.
of course.
And what it is, Citrus, I used to work for a record distribution company, and. We used to distribute to all the record shops all around London. So every time a tune come in, I would just go, boom, I'm having that, stick it in my bag, boom, I'm having that, stick it in my bag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had so much vinyl and so many tunes, like Zido the Bass.
Yeah.
Like
right.
That rings a bell straight away. A Zido the Bass. I mean, that was quite dark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I would say a Zido the Bass.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because
you had Bass Lick. Do you know Bass Lick? That's what I'm saying.
Look, do you know what? We could genuinely go back and forth.
I'll go with Zido the Bass.
Yeah. So, but you're saying around the sort of 2000 was when it transitioned into.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, because like then it was like I've gone from just going to record shops and playing vinyl to cutting dub plates, you know, and the dub plates that I was cutting was apparently grime or esky or whatever you want to call it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I would say 2000, but my first grime tune that I would think that was a turning point for me was Zido the Bass.
Right, okay then. All right then. And I mean, would you say that as soon as things started going down that sort of grimy, esky, and even I guess around that time, was that sort of the Sub-Low time as well?
Yes, Johnny Cash and that. Do you know what I mean? So, Johnny Cash was making some bang. He was so ahead of his time, Johnny Cash. You know, definitely. Like you listen to his music 20 years ago, which it literally is 20 years ago. Yeah. Because we're coming up to 2022. Yeah. And I'm going back to 2000. Yeah. And he's remastering his tunes now, like you see him on Instagram and things like that. And they just compete with the music that's there now. You know what I mean? And it's like trainers, clothes. It never goes out of fashion. If it's good, it never goes out of fashion, regardless how old it is. So yeah, it was kind of like Sub-Low, and that was where it kind of formed into the dubstep. If you want to talk about the dubstep,
right? Okay.
When we used to go to Curtain Road Forward,
right.
You know, before like Hatcher, it was like you had Hatcher, you had like Crazy D and things like that, and it was such a tiny little thing, Curtain Road, Plastic People Forward, and like that was some good times as well. But yeah, let's go back to the grime. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, no. What I was going to say was because I'm assuming that when obviously garage was starting to, certain people were going in the grimy direction.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that you did get some people that were probably sort of rejecting the grime a little bit and saying, no, I want to go. But were you ever in that boat, or were you, when you heard grime, did you hop onto it?
Well, yeah, because I was a DJ and I had MCs, we just went with the flow.
Yeah.
Like I listened back to some of my sets on tape, and the tunes that I'm playing with the MCs, I would say they wasn't grime. I would say they were still garage. You know what I'm saying? So no, I never thought about. I just went with the flow.
Yeah.
That's all I did, Citrus. I just went with the flow, and whatever was coming out at that time, whatever I was listening to in the record shop, whether it was veering from garage to a darkish garage to grime, or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know who called it grime. Who called it grime?
Yeah,
who named it grime?
It's a mystery, isn't it? It's a mystery.
It is.
Who knows?
It is, mate.
I mean, what was your roughly when did you start doing radio?
Radio 99.
99.
99.
Right, okay.
I started on Flavour FM.
Yep.
And Flavour was in Dagenham because I'm from Dagenham, and I was doing a show on a Sunday morning, 10 till 12 on a Sunday morning. Me, Sire, and Dogsy. Dogsy had just come out of prison, and it, before when Dogsy was in prison, it was just me and Sire. But when Dogsy come out of prison, obviously he joined us and everything. So yeah, I would say probably 98, 99 Flavour, and then it just. Radio was my life from then on for the next 10 years, probably 8, 9, 10 years was my life.
Yeah, because obviously did you go from Flavour to Rinse, or was there anything in between?
Yes, I went to Flavour to Rinse.
Yep.
Rinse was always my goal.
Right,
it was always my goal. I don't know why, because it was just my goal. Like there wasn't another station that I think it was because it was in East.
Yeah.
Like you had Mission, Magic, and Freak, and that, and they were scattered about all over London. But because it was East, my mission was to get off Flavour to go on to Rinse. But there was a problem.
Right.
Genius obviously wanted only one crew on Rinse, which was Pay As You Go. And he did. I don't think he wanted to take the limelight away from them for other people to join, etc., etc. So what happened was I did a guest show on Rinse FM, and the deal was Genius said, "Look, you can come on as your own as DJ Glamma, like without the OT."
Yeah.
Sire, Dogsy, blah blah, and then maybe we'll think about it down the line, kind of thing. So that was I didn't leave OT. I left the radio station that they was on to push all of us forward to get us all on Rinse, which I did. In the end, I got us all on Rinse, all because of me.
How did they see it that way?
Yes,
or
yes, that was the goal. That was the goal, because obviously we had another DJ as well, Range, which was Dogsy's brother, and they stayed on Flavour and a few other stations that was in Dagenham, and they carried on doing their thing, and I was still going up there and being a part of them. But on my show on a Monday night, 9 to 11, which I had for years and years and years. My goal was to get the whole crew on there, and in the end, when Rinse come to Dagenham, it was like OTFM, bruv.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
it was OTFM, and that's God's honest truth, mate. We was up there morning, noon, and night. It was us, Pay As You Go, and we become very, very tight. Us and Pay As You Go.
Yeah,
like them days, we was going out flyering for the raves that we was putting on.
Yeah,
and mate, Rinse FM. Too much love for Rinse FM. Well, the original Rinse FM anyway, not the Rinse FM now, because it's like I don't even know what that is, what that shit is. I ain't gonna comment on that, but I would like if they turned around and said to me today, Glam, we'd love to give you a show back, blah blah. I would take it, because Rinse is in my blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what got me the person that I am today, I would suppose. You know what I'm saying? Like all them other stations. But then again, Flavour, we ain't got enough time in Citrus, man. We ain't, bruv. We ain't.
Do you know what? I often have it where, or I've had it a few times where, it gets into the podcast and we'll just have to say that we need to do another one at some point.
We need to do another one.
This definitely won't be the last time we speak.
Man,
but I mean, I want this to be a bit of a sort of an overview, a bit of an introduction,
a bit of a briefing. Yes,
of course.
Yeah, man.
See, one thing. If we pause from the sort of timeline for a minute and just say so. I mean, as you said, Rinse nowadays isn't what it used to be.
Yes.
I mean, what would you say are the main differences between now and back in the day, between radio in general? And I'm not talking about obviously commercial stations. I mean stations that are doing grime.
The difference. There's a big difference. It was very raw. It was very real. It was very organic back then. You know. It was like. No one could tell you nothing. No one could say you can't do this, you can't do that. It was just nothing was planned.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't get on social media and start going, make sure you lock into my show tonight, blah 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 blah. Everything was just off the cuff. You know, you could be sitting indoors one night, you get a phone call, do you want to come and do a radio show, and you'd be up there. No one would know that you're going to do a show until you was on there. Do you know what I'm saying? So you couldn't put it out there like, I'm just Rinse FM tonight, blah blah blah. But I think there's a big difference now. It's very professional now.
Yeah.
All this equipment and like I've never seen things like this in my life. I've seen dusty old mics tied up and shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, since I've been back and I've been DJing again and I'm getting used to all this equipment and everything, I'm actually liking it.
Yeah.
I'm actually knowing that I like the fact from. That like radio now compared to then, at least you know you're going to do your show and you ain't gonna get cut off.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't gonna get your records took.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about DTI. You ain't got to worry about so many things. You ain't got and that's the good thing about it now.
Yes.
You know, it coming from pirate radio to mainstream radio. You know.
Yeah.
But if you said to me tomorrow, Glam, do you want to go back to pirate radio and do how it used to do? I'll probably say yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably say yeah because, like I said, mate, when I listen to my old shows on tape, on CD or whatever, it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
You know, the vibe, the everything you got from it. I don't know if people still get that now because obviously I don't have MCs on my show and that now. But back then. The vibe and everything inside the studio, it was like a rave.
Yeah.
It was like a rave, man. Do you know what
I mean, often when I first got into grime, I'd listen to a lot of the old sets. I was immediately, because I mean, even though I'd say I started listening to grime around, I want to say like 2012. So obviously very late.
Cool, that is late. Yeah.
Very
obviously,
late.
I wasn't even about then because I'd come out the scene.
That's it, right. Yeah. So 2012. So I was 15 years old. Yeah. And funnily enough, my mate, he showed me the Roll Deep Eskimo vocal. That was the first ever grime tune I heard. And I was like, this straight away I was like, this is it. And then so my entry point to grime, although I was very late, the first people I knew about were sort of, you know, like Roll Deep, and everything going on in that era. So I used to listen to the old sets, and I was thinking, there's something about this. And so when I started doing sets, I thought, do you know what, I want to try and not recreate it, but I definitely thought, I mean, when I think when you do sets with one or two MCs, it's very different to that 20 people in the room. Because I mean, I've done sets at when Mode was in Enfield.
You've got to look at the roof on Deja and things like that. And we was all kids then. You know, we was kids. I was 18, 19. You know what I'm saying? And to have that have a room full of 18, 19-year-olds bouncing about, chucking mics about and all that. It was hectic, bruv. It was a good feeling.
Yeah.
It was a good feeling. I'm not going to lie. But then on the other hand, like I said to you before, it used to aggravate me because you used to have to, you'd need room to bend down to get your vinyl out and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
There's a video from, I think, like 2018 or whatever of a set that I did at Don City.
See, I need to see all this stuff.
Yeah,
'cause I need to learn about you. You're like I said to you, you're the new gen. Yeah, you're the new gen. And, all these new MCs and DJs and stuff like that, they're all new to me. And the music that everyone is playing there's such a big variety of grime music.
Yes,
there ain't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I said to you, the grime that I play is dark grime. It's it's like on the borderline of dubstep. But it ain't dubstep, if you know what I mean. You've got dubstep, which is like, I would say what Hatcher plays, you know. But then you've got the grime that I play, that Slimzy plays, and I don't think there is many people that really play the dark stuff other than the dubsteppy people. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to check you out.
Yeah, all I was going to say, yeah, there was a particular set.
Don City, isn't it?
Don City, that's it. Literally, just a couple of rows down from here.
Yeah.
And there's, I'm sort of, I've got my back to the wall. I'm on the decks. So there's probably, I want to say, about 20 MCs. Yeah. People are literally spilling out into the hallway because you couldn't fit 20 MCs in there. Everyone's reaching, grabbing for the mic. As soon as someone's finished, there's two people reaching in for it, and it was like for a period of, I want to say, like 6 months to a year. All of my sets were like that, and I was thinking,
you was getting that vibe of how it used to be.
I was thinking, this is how I imagine it's as close to what it could have been back then. I know, obviously, it will never be like it was back then because it's different times, but. And I mean, I would say, actually, in the past, maybe, say just before COVID, because obviously there's been restrictions and shit for the past year or so, but just before COVID, I wasn't seeing them sets anymore. And I was thinking, like, sadly, I think that sort of thing is starting to die out. Because, I mean, other than, there was, I don't know if you saw... I think it was the 2019 Rude Kids Christmas set, where there was there's literally, I want to say, about 100 MCs, right? And it was carnage. It was too much. It just went beyond the set. It was just a room full of 100 people all trying to wrestle for a mic. But it was like, I was thinking, but that is closer to the essence of what it was.
What it was, yeah.
You know, and I think, like, back then it was you can hear the hunger.
But they was all like probably all grown men then. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Then you had like 16, 17, 18 year olds, Strider was coming out, he was 15, he looked about 12, you know what I'm saying? And we was kids, but now it's a mad thing. But I agree with you, like I'm trying to get used to all these new gen and stuff like that. Like I say, I've been back since January. So I would say this year has flown for me because all I've done is radio, get my name out there. Social media, massive thing. We never had this thing back then. So that is gold.
That is another interesting. Do you know what? My last podcast that I did, which was with Miz, and basically one thing that me and her both said was like we held our hands up and said we wouldn't know how to promote ourselves back in the day.
You
without it, I don't know what I'd do.
No, you couldn't, mate. That's what you literally couldn't. The only way we could promote raves was shitty little ads on the radio or flyering. You know, we used to go out flyering every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, even through the week. You know, we used to drive to everywhere, Southend and wherever the rave was, we would go. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was the only way to promote ourselves and the raves then. Like I said to you before, we couldn't. If a radio show come up and you was going to do a radio show tomorrow, you can't tell no one. You couldn't. We didn't even have mobiles, bro.
Yeah.
Well, we did, but it wasn't like the mobiles that we've got now. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, without social media, and I wished that we had social media back then because all these video footages that you see of people, MCs, and that. There was some times that like say they was lucky to get that footage on the roof of Titch and Dizzy.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because the phones that we had then didn't have cameras. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was like a one-off kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember. I remember having a phone, but I don't remember ever having a phone with a camera being up on pirate radio in Rinse and that. Do you know what I'm saying? So
that's the thing. Obviously, I look back on the old footage, and you know, I sort of start to build up a picture in my head of what I thought it might have been like.
A+.
I was just going to say, unless A+ or Risky Roads was there filming it. Obviously, it's all lost. I mean, obviously there are still, as you said, you've got tapes from your old sets and stuff, but it's almost like.
But when I listen to them tapes, I can visual it.
Yeah.
Because I was there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like anyone else can't. Like when I listen to a show, I'm listening to tapes the other day, and I literally can visual the studio that it was in. Visual my surroundings that I was surrounded by, you know what I mean? And like I said, unless it was Risky wasn't video in it or A+, then you weren't getting that footage.
Yeah.
You weren't unless you was videoing it on some. I think one of the first Nokias that come out was like a square box little thing.
No,
I've
seen them,
I remember Titch having one and doing some videos on that back in the day on Rinse and that. But yeah, man. I could talk, like I say, about them times all day long, Citrus, bruv. Like they were the best times of my life, man. And, I wish you could have been there, mate. I wish you could have.
I wish I could have. I wish I could have, because I mean, I think the thing is, and I wouldn't say that everyone of my generation is like this, but I definitely And some people will say, you know, well, you can't be stuck in the past. You've got to move forward.
That's it.
But all the old school shit, I'm such a massive fan of that.
That's it. As soon as you hear an old school grime tune, like even a Wiley tune, or someone like a Master tune, or an old Johnny Cash tune, or you know, like these producers back then, they was just killing it, bro.
Yeah.
And when you hear them there. Like I stayed up on my radio show on EXT the other night for an extra hour, and I played some old grime stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go home, mate. I'm talking, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just buzzing. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm playing these tunes. I'm going to shots. One more tune, bruv. One more tune. And in the end, I just ended up staying there for another hour playing the old grime tunes. And you won't the grime there won't ever come close to what was then.
I've always said. Danny Weed, so far ahead of his time.
So shots. Like, I'm not being biased, but shots. It gives me tunes now that he made in 2005, 2006, and I'm playing them, and they're just going up against all the new like 140 tunes that I'm playing, etc. All the new producers and all that, like Boylan and them sort of tunes. I'm mixing a tune with these into one of theirs, and it sounds evil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Danny Weed, he was before his time. That's another thing. Like, I think going back that question that not that question, but what you said about earlier on about when did grime change and stuff like that. Danny Weed, how could I forget Danny Weed, man? How could I forget Danny? Same as Target. You know what I mean? I've got CDs like out of like Target, Danny Weed, like all these tunes, and none of them are mixed down. You know what I mean? Like I was literally going through my CDs 2 days ago, and I was putting them on Instagram and stuff, and I was listening to some Danny Weed tunes and that, and he was a big part of it, mate. Creeper and that, you know what I mean? Like Creeper and.
Yeah, like a lot of his stuff. I listen to it, and I think, do you know what? If that was released in 2022, it would still sound ahead of its time.
100%, mate.
You know, 100%. I mean, the Shank Rhythm.
Yeah.
Wow.
But even like Dizzy now, like let's talk about Dizzy Rascal, like the tunes that he was producing. You know, like you mix Ho into something like a relevant tune now. You mix Ho, even Ho strings, or I Love You, like or something like that. It's going off, bro.
It's another level, and the thing is, obviously, there was less access to the technology, so it's almost I find it interesting. I mean, just the energy that the old music or the older grime music had. I mean, so I've got as we were saying earlier, I do sort of mix vinyl. I've got some old bits and that.
I wish I still have mine.
Right, the Tings in Boots white label. Yeah. Like you listen to that vocal and it's so raw, and it's so and the thing is in this day and age, if someone sent you a tune that had that like lack of mix down, no master, whatever, it's just raw. It's if someone sent you that, you'd be like, what's this? But it's like, I don't know, it's just something about like
that. Funny enough, Tings in Boots, that was filthy, like that was dirty, like when that dropped, that was sick. Do you know what I'm saying? I remember it enough times in Rinse and that, because Rinse used to always have a good sound system in the studio and the pirate radio, and like Tings in Boots, that was a stomper, mate. That will hold it up to tunes nowadays.
Yeah,
like, you drop that and you get one of these new MCs, like the new Gen MCs spitting over that sounds sick, bruv.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mate. I know. Do you know what? A few years ago, you'd have to check it out. Logan Sama did a mixtape whereby he got all of the all of the MCs of sort of the 2015 generation or whatever, spitting over old school beats.
Right.
So you've got.
Is that online? Is it?
It's on SoundCloud. I'll send you a link to it. It's really good. But it's all of the old classics, and you've got all of the what was the new gen spitting over it.
Yeah.
It's so good. Really good. But
because I'm just, all I know is listening to my usual old MCs, you know, like Flowy and them sort of people spitting to them tunes. I would like to listen.
Oh yeah.
I would like to listen to that. Yeah, that'd be good.
Man. No, definitely.
And it might educate me on the MCs, like the current MCs.
Do you know what? There is a lot of talent. I will say that. I mean, you know, as much as I've been saying, obviously, you know, the differences between radio and all that.
Do you know what I mean? Wiley's clashing everyone. Like.
Yeah, he is. But no, yeah, there's a lot of good MCs coming through.
And that's another thing. I've never really sat down and give the MCs a chance now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's because I've not given them a chance. It's just because I've been too focused on myself.
Yeah,
too focused
which is fair enough, because obviously, like you said, you've only been back in the game since January, so you're going to be doing.
And I took 15 years out of the game, and all I wanted to do was concentrate on myself, get myself established, get myself comfortable, get myself used to the new music.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I can't keep falling back to the old stuff as much as we love it, and whatever. I could play old stuff all day long, but I've never been that kind of DJ. I've always been about brand new music, you know, brand new dubs, fresh music. All I want is to play this first, play that first. And that's how I got noticed back in the day. You know what I mean? From people like Slimzy and Genius, when there was a club in Barking called Legends.
Right.
And we used to do there used to be a rave there called Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
Before it moved to like EQ and stuff like that, and I played at one of them Last Man Standings. It was only probably about as big as this room.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's when I got noticed. I was playing these tunes, and like people were like who's this geezer? He's playing tunes that I've never even heard before. He's playing tunes before this person's got them. Like, and I think that's the DJ that I've always been, and I'm like that now.
I'm very similar. I'm very similar. Like, yeah. I was.
I'm not a selfish DJ. Like I'm not. I wouldn't. I'm not one of these DJs that goes to producers. No, mate, don't give that to him. I want that first. I want that first. That's childish. That's immature shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, but. Yeah, I think we're definitely on the same level there. It's all about having them fresh music.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You don't want a tune that someone's been rinsing the arse out of it, and then they go, "Here, bro, here's a tune there." Do you know what I mean? Oh, blinded, mate, nice one. And then someone tells you that's been getting rinsed for the last 3 years. You know,
definitely. No, it's. Don't get me wrong. I still try to, when I'm doing sets. I might play something from 3, 4, 5, even like 10 years ago. I might just drop it in.
I was thinking about my up and coming show to do that.
Right.
But then through the week, you're getting sent so much
new
music.
So much.
That idea of going out and playing, doing a set with old grime tunes goes out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've got so much new music to play, and they're expecting you to play that because they want to hear it now on SoundCloud. The only way you used to be able to listen to back sets back in the day was on a tape.
Yeah.
TDK. Like so. Yeah, I think that goes out the window when you want to play old tunes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
might be able to drop one, like you said, in it. You know what I mean?
That's pretty much as far as I go. I might occasionally, chuck in, but because I think
before their time as well. See, I'm sitting here thinking. Let's go back to that one, Da Vinci.
Oh wow, yes.
How can I not mention Da Vinci?
Wow,
Da Vinci. Say no more. Like his tunes now will hold up, and like I've got all of his music, and he's blinding, mate. A lot of it, he had his same sound all the time. Yeah. But he was making some filth.
Yeah, but that's similar to like how Dexplicit.
Yes.
Yeah. As soon as you hear a Dex, you know it's one of his tunes, because he's got his sound, but it's like still like I mean, even to this day, you can drop like Hench 2 or whatever in any set, and it's just so good. Yeah, so good. And again, it's one of them tunes where it could drop this year and it'd still sound current.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
And you can drop it on a set with 5 MCs that will burn that tune.
Yes.
And it don't matter whether it's 20 years old, 15 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Because it's same as Johnny Cash. Like I said to you, them sort of tunes, they never go out of fashion. Never go out of fashion.
Do you know what? In a way, I try to sort of now, when I get sent new stuff or whatever from be it new producers or even producers that have been around for a while. Yeah, definitely.
It's all about them new producers.
Well, the thing is, I try and search for them ones where in 15 years you're still going to be playing that tune.
Yeah, I do, mate.
You know?
Like, there's nothing better. Like, I'm all about pushing for producers.
Yes.
I love producers.
Yeah.
The MCs have took too much of the limelight in the grime scene.
Yeah.
Big them up. They've took the grime scene to another level. They've took it to mainstream. But the producers, for me, it's all about the producers.
Yeah.
Like, they've never got enough of recognition for the things that they've been doing. You know what I mean? The tunes that they've been putting out. I think the only one that gets really recognition now is probably Teddy.
Right.
Like, because the tunes that he's doing with P Money and his latest one with Dizzy and things like that. I'm all about the producers, bro.
Yeah.
I will support them all day long because they're the one giving me their beats. I'm gonna play their beats.
Yeah.
And no one they don't get, like I say, they don't get enough. They should be at the front of things, man. Like because without a producer, without that beat, what are you spitting on,
yeah,
bro?
I do. I often think it's because obviously, like you can do an instrumental set, and it'll still be fucking sick, but you couldn't do an a cappella set. Do you know what I mean? Like
exactly, bro.
no one wants to do 60 minutes of just lyrics, but 60 minutes of instrumentals, run it.
100%.
Yeah,
and I just think the from day one since 2000. When I started, the producers haven't got enough recognition.
Yeah.
Genius used to get a lot of recognition for the tunes that he used to make.
Yeah.
Target, Danny Weed, but they're old school, man. We're old school, but now no one, people just play these tunes, spit on them, and that's it. Like they don't. I don't hear who produced it, or it's only because I can tell probably now from the sounds that I'm hearing and the beats and stuff like that. I'm thinking, oh, so and so made that, or so and so made that. So, but no, it's all about the producers for me, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Look, I mean, we're already starting to run out of time, and
oh Jesus Christ!
I said I feel like we was good.
We do part 2,
and 3 and 4 and 5.
We do part 2, and we talk about anything you want.
Yes. Well, look. I mean, we still got a little bit of time, so we was talking about obviously when you went from Flavour to Rinse.
Yeah.
How long were you on Rinse for? How many years was that?
It was about the end of 99, 2000, and I left 2007.
Right. You was there a long time then?
Yeah, I'm a veteran on there. Bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I put enough work in on that station. Do you know what I mean? And I miss it. I miss Rinse. I do miss Rinse.
What was it that I guess it's probably multiple things, but what was the main reason why you stayed with them as long as you did?
Because in my eyes, then there wasn't no better.
Right. Okay.
That was where the scene started from. In my eyes, I know you've got Soul Solid, South London, blah blah, and all that, but that was still kind of, they were still on their garage kind of thing, you know, like Neutrino and Oxide and that. But I think to myself, like Rinse FM, everyone wanted to be on Rinse FM.
Yeah.
And no one was allowed on there.
Yeah.
Genius wouldn't let them on there, bruv.
Yeah.
All these MCs wanted to come and do guest shows and things like that. Genius wouldn't let them on there.
Yeah.
So to be on there, like, that was a big statement.
It had the quality control whereby you knew that no matter when you was locking in, you was getting good content.
I could put on Rinse FM back in the day, and I could listen to show after show after show after show after show.
Yep.
Because every show would be banging.
Yep.
Whether it would be Rossi B and Luca, whether it would be Tubby, whether it would be Carnage, whether it would be Pay As You Go, whatever. There was always someone on. And so, I was on there 7 years. And if I didn't leave the scene, I would have still been on there now.
Look, do you know what? I'll be honest. One of the things that I wanted to get into, which we definitely haven't got enough time for, was why you ultimately left the scene.
For personal reasons.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too much into it, but one of the reasons as well, I fell out of love with the music.
Right.
The early grime days was fucking the bollocks, you know what I'm saying? But as time went on, I was falling out of love with it, and it was all, like I say, it was all about the MCs. It was all about the MCs. Like, we had this new crew, not this new crew, but we had like the Dog on 'Em Alliance. We had like Devlin coming on board.
Yeah.
We had Deeper Man, and there was all these new people, and I think it was just getting a bit too much for me, and I wasn't really feeling it. The worstest thing I did was sold my records. I sold gold there. I sold gold. That's my only regret. I don't regret leaving the scene because I think I left it for a good reason.
Yeah.
You know, a personal reason, and I think it was. But the worstest thing was selling my records, man.
Yeah.
Selling a bag full of dubs, all them vinyls I had, from garage to early grime to everything.
Yeah. I must admit, I've said to myself, I'm not gonna,
because people now, all the DJs that used to sell their vinyl, that have sold their vinyl, are trying to buy them back
for about 10 times the price.
Do you know what I'm saying?
do you know literally, right? There's tunes there's tunes that you would have got for like £7 back in the day that I've had to pay like 50 quid for.
You just pop down Rhythm, £6 was a bargain. Like I say, because I used to work in a record distribution company as well, I used to get it for nothing. So like, it was just like, oh yeah, I'll have one of them, I'll have a test press, or I'll have a promo, boom, put it in the bag. But now, like I say, I'm seeing people now on Instagram uploading vinyl things that they've been buying, like Esky tunes and stuff like that, or any of them original grime tunes. They're paying like 50 quid for them.
It's crazy. So more sometimes. More. Do you know what? I think
that'd kill me.
Wiley Snowflake, which is a fucking great tune.
Yeah.
That's gone for like 150 quid for one record.
Mad this. Someone was selling Ho Dizzy Rascal for a long one as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is going on, bruv? And they're if I've got my records back now, which are never going to happen, I know where my records are. They're probably sitting in some geezer's bedroom, not even getting looked at.
Yeah.
And the person I sold them to ain't got a didgery about them, mate. Don't appreciate them, and that's one thing that pisses me off as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because all the hard work and grit and everything I put into getting them tunes.
Yeah.
All the running about London from morning, noon, and night, cutting dubs, whatever, and I sold them to someone who don't appreciate them, and that hurts.
Oh, definitely. I think vinyl is something where, like, anyone that collects it, you got a real passion for music.
I went round to my one of my brother's pals a few months back, and I had a little mix of some Wookiee tunes and that, and it just brought it all back. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was my first time on a set of 1210s, but listen, it's like riding a bike, bruv. Once you've got it, you never lose it.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And DJs, a lot of DJs now, I'll big you up because you play vinyl. You can mix vinyl.
Yeah.
Half of these DJs, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
take that laptop away from them or whatever. They're fucked.
Yeah. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, but we're moving from like from subject to subject. We could talk about things.
We could. Do you know what? I wish I could just do a 3-hour episode and we'll just go through it all.
There's not many people that talk about the old times and things like that. It's only what you hear.
Yes,
it's only what you hear. And I'm thankful of coming on here and I say I've got so much to talk about.
Of course.
Mate.
Look, I know you've
and bad.
Yeah, exactly that. That's it. Look, I know you've only got to tell a little bit of your story so far. Again, I do want to say, like, thank you for coming down and telling it.
Listen, mate, a pleasure, brother. I was looking forward to coming down. You know what I mean? Meeting yourself, new gen. I don't know any new gens. I really don't know any new gens. So you're the first new gen that I've met, and I like you, and I'm glad to be on here, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Listen, I'll come back anytime you want, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Anytime you go, look, Glam, I've got no one to come and do a podcast. You fancy coming and have a chat for an hour or so?
Yeah, you come back again soon.
Problem,
definitely, mate. Definitely. Look, we've got a lot more to talk about.
Yes.
But yeah, we are going to have to wrap it up.
I try and put things on like small things on Instagram, like my old shows and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people that do know, like they go, "Fuck me, Glam, you're a legend." I'm not a legend, bruv. I was just someone that helped build a scene.
Yeah.
I'm not a legend. I just helped build a scene. This scene, grime.
Of course.
You know what I mean? No one's a legend. We're all legends. You're a legend because you're in the scene. Do you know what I'm saying? You're a new gen. You're keeping this scene alive, bruv.
I'm trying.
And you might keep it alive for the next 20 years.
I hope so, man. I really do hope so.
You'll be 44 then, and I'll be 60.
Yeah.
I'll be 60. Yeah.
I'll mate. Yeah. I'll try my best.
Yeah, mate.
Right, just quickly, where can people find you on social media if they want to see what you're about?
Yep, DJ Glamma _ on Instagram, on Twitter, SoundCloud. Catch my shows on Sunday 9 to 11 bi-weekly on extradio.co.uk. I think that's right. Put me under pressure there. I should have written it down. Do you know what I mean? It's just all new to me. .co.uk and all that. So, yeah.
There we go.
Sweet, brother.
All right then, mate. Well, thank you again for coming down, and I'm sure we'll speak again very soon.
Blinding, brother. All I need now is a fucking big zoo.
Nice one.